Have you ever laid in the quiet of the night and felt the profound silence of the universe around you? We often imagine space as the ultimate emptiness, a perfect vacuum of stillness and peace. But what if that silence is not empty at all? What if, within the faintest, oldest whispers of the cosmos, there lies a message, a profound, intricate communication, woven into the very background radiation that permeates all of existence? Tonight, as you prepare for sleep, we will journey together into this cosmic static. We will explore the extraordinary idea that the secret of cosmic radiation is not its randomness, but its potential for meaning. A message that might have been left for us by a creator, waiting patiently for millennia to be heard. Let your mind drift as we listen to the quiet hum of creation itself. To begin our journey, we must first travel back in time, not just hundreds or thousands of years, but billions. Imagine a point almost 14 billion years ago when our entire universe, every star, every galaxy, every planet, and every atom within you was compressed into a space smaller than a grain of sand. This was a moment of unimaginable heat and density, and then it expanded. This event, which we call the Big Bang, was not an explosion in space, but the expansion of space itself. In its first moments, the universe was a blindingly hot, dense soup of light and particles. Light could not travel freely. It was trapped, constantly bouncing off charged particles in a cosmic fog. But as the universe expanded, it cooled. After about 380,000 years, it became cool enough for atoms to form, and for the first time, light was set free. This ancient light has been traveling through the expanding universe ever since. It is the oldest light we can see, and today it washes over us from every direction, not as brilliant light, but as a faint, cool glow of microwave radiation. This is the cosmic microwave background. It is the afterglow of creation, a baby picture of our universe, and it is the canvas upon which our story and our potential message is written. Let us now consider the nature of this ancient light, this cosmic radiation. It is everywhere. No matter which direction we point our most sensitive instruments, we find it. It is a constant, gentle hum, a universal presence. If you were to tune an old television to an empty channel, a tiny fraction of the static, the snow on the screen, is interference from this very radiation. It is the echo of the Big Bang, a relic from a time before stars or galaxies. But to call it mere radiation or static is to miss its poetry. Imagine it instead as a vast celestial manuscript. It is a single sheet of parchment that wraps around the entire observable universe, and on it is written the story of the first moments of time. When we create maps of this radiation, we see a pattern of infinitesimally small variations, tiny patches that are a few millionths of a degree, warmer or cooler than the average. To the untrained eye, it looks like random noise, a meaningless pattern of splotches. For decades, many believed that is all it was. But in cosmology, the smallest details can hold the grandest secrets. These subtle ripples in the fabric of space-time are not imperfections. They're the seeds of everything that came after. They're the primordial fluctuations in density that, over billions of years, would be sculpted by gravity into the first stars, the first galaxies, and eventually into the great cosmic web that we see today. So, as you lay here, breathing softly, imagine this ancient light passing through you. It is not harmful energy, but a carrier of history. It is the universe's memory, a faint and steady whisper that has traveled across the unfathomable expanse of space and time to be here with us tonight. It is the first chapter of the story, and within its intricate, seemingly random patterns, some now believe there is a deeper layer of information, a meaning that transcends mere physics. It is the first clue that we may not be looking at a random cosmic accident, but at a deliberate and beautiful design. Now let us zoom in, closer and closer, on this beautiful, modeled map of the early universe. This map, created from the cosmic microwave background, or CMB, is a snapshot of the cosmos when it was just a baby, a mere 380,000 years old. It is our most precious artifact. Imagine you have found a photograph of a distant ancestor, the oldest picture of your lineage. You would study every detail, every shadow, every subtle expression. This is what cosmologists do with the CMB. The faint temperature differences, those tiny ripples we spoke of, are displayed as colors on this map, often as blues for cooler spots and reds for warmer spots. These are not random paint splatters. They follow specific statistical rules. The size of the spots, their distribution, how they cluster together. All of this tells us something profound about the universe we inhabit. It tells us the universe's age, its composition, how much dark matter and dark energy there is, and even its geometry. It is a cosmic Rosetta Stone, and it is here, in the precise nature of these patterns, that the first hint of something extraordinary emerges. The patterns are not chaotic. They are orderly in a very specific, mathematical way. They contain a symphony of information. It is as if we are listening to a sound, and by analyzing its frequencies, its overtones, we can understand the instrument that played it. In this case, the instrument is the entire universe, and the sound is this primordial hum. The specific arrangement of these hot and cold spots has been measured with incredible precision by missions like the Planck satellite. And what they found is that these patterns are not just consistent with our physical theories. They are exquisitely consistent. The data fits the model of our universe with a precision that is both breathtaking and, to some, deeply unsettling. It's too perfect. The perfection itself becomes a question. Why this specific pattern? Why these specific statistical properties? Is this the only way a universe could be? Or is it a signpost, a carefully arranged set of clues? As you relax, picture this cosmic map in your mind. See the gentle swirls of red and blue, a celestial tapestry woven in the dawn of time. Feel the weight of its age, the depth of its information. It is more than just a picture. It is the blueprint. And in any blueprint, one might look for the signature of the architect. Let us drift now from the map itself to the rules that governed its creation. The universe, as we know it, operates according to a set of fundamental laws and constants. These are the numbers that underpin reality. Think of the strength of gravity, the speed of light, the charge of an electron. These are not just abstract figures in a physics textbook. They are the dials that tune our universe. And here we encounter a profound mystery that scientists call the fine-tuning problem. It appears that the values of these fundamental constants are exquisitely, improbably fine-tuned to allow for the existence of a complex, life-sustaining universe. If you were to change any of these values by even a minuscule amount, the consequences would be catastrophic. The universe as we know it would not exist. For example, consider the force of gravity. It seems perfectly balanced. If it were just a tiny bit stronger, stars would burn hotter and faster, exhausting their fuel in millions of years instead of billions, not leaving nearly enough time for life to evolve on any orbiting planets. If gravity were slightly weaker, stars and galaxies might never have formed at all. The primordial clouds of gas would have just drifted apart, leaving a cold, dark, and empty cosmos. Imagine a control room for the universe with countless dials, each one representing a fundamental constant. Each dial must be set to a value within an incredibly narrow range for the universe to be stable and for complexity to emerge. The precision required is staggering. For some constants, it's like firing a rifle across the observable universe and hitting a 1-inch target at the other end. The fact that all of these dials are set just right is, for many, the most compelling evidence for a purpose, for a design. It is statistically miraculous. It begs the question, was it a fluke? Did we just happen to win an astronomical cosmic lottery? Or were the dials set deliberately? As you sink deeper into relaxation, contemplate this cosmic balancing act. Feel the perfect weight of gravity holding you gently. Feel the steady energy from our sun, a star that burns for billions of years because the nuclear forces within it are so perfectly calibrated. Our very existence seems to hinge on this knife's edge of cosmic precision. This fine-tuning is not a message in the sense of language, but it could be a message in the sense of intent. It is a universe that seems, in its very structure, to be welcoming of life, of consciousness, of you. This idea of a cosmic lottery brings us to the heart of the matter, the question of chance versus design. How do we respond to this apparent fine-tuning? One perspective is that we are simply lucky. In a game of chance with infinite possibilities, even the most unlikely outcomes must eventually occur. Perhaps the universe just happened to be this way, and we are the fortunate beneficiaries of a random cosmic dice roll. This is a valid scientific viewpoint, but it can feel intellectually unsatisfying. It relegates our existence to a mere statistical anomaly, a brute fact with no deeper explanation. The sheer improbability of it all, however, pushes many thinkers to look for an alternative. They argue that to attribute such exquisite balance to pure chance is to ignore the evidence in front of us. Imagine walking along a beach and finding a watch, a complex mechanism of gears and springs, all working together to tell time. You would not assume that the waves in the sand randomly assembled it. You would infer the existence of a watchmaker. The argument, then, is that the universe, with its finely tuned laws and constants, is infinitely more complex than any watch. Therefore, should we not infer the existence of a cosmic architect? a creator who set the parameters with purpose and intent. This is not a new idea. It is a philosophical argument that has been debated for centuries. But modern cosmology has given it a new and powerful context. We are no longer just marveling at the complexity of a flower or an eye. We are marveling at the underlying mathematical structure of reality itself. The fine-tuning seems to be woven into the very fabric of space-time, from the first moments of the Big Bang. This doesn't prove the existence of a creator, of course. Science deals in evidence and testable hypotheses, not proofs of faith. But it opens a door to wonder. It allows for the possibility that the universe is not a random, meaningless accident, but a coherent and purposeful creation. As you continue to relax, let go of the need for a definitive answer. Simply hold the question in your mind. Is the harmony of the cosmos a beautiful accident, or is it a deliberate symphony? The cosmic radiation, the afterglow of creation, carries the echoes of these fundamental constants. It is the score of that symphony, written in the language of physics, and listening to it, one can't help but wonder about the composer. To understand how a message could be hidden in the cosmos, we must first think about what a message even is. This brings us to the realm of information theory, a field of study born in the 20th century. At its core, information theory tells us that information is the resolution of uncertainty. It is the opposite of randomness. A random string of letters like X, J, Q, Z, P, T, L contains very little information. But an ordered string of letters like T, H, E, U, N, I, V, E, R, S, contains a great deal of information because it is highly specific and non-random. The key insight is that information can be measured, quantified, and studied mathematically. So, let's apply this to the universe. Is the universe full of information? Absolutely. The DNA in every cell of your body is a staggering example of high-density information storage. A book, a piece of music, a computer program, all are arrangements of matter or energy that carry information. Now, let's return to our map of the cosmic microwave background. At first glance, it looks random, like the static on a television screen. But as we discussed, it is not truly random. It has a specific, complex, and orderly statistical structure. Could this structure contain information beyond just the physical properties of the universe? Could it be a message? A message requires a sender, a receiver, and a code. We are the potential receivers. The identity of the sender is the great mystery we are exploring. But what about the code? If a creator wanted to leave a message for all technologically advanced civilizations across time and space, what kind of language would they use? They wouldn't use English or any human language, as those are fleeting and provincial. They would use the only universal languages we know of, mathematics and physics. The message would have to be encoded in the fundamental constants of nature themselves, or in the structure of the cosmos. The patterns in the CMB could be that code. The precise values of the temperature fluctuations, the statistical distribution of the hot and cold spots. These could be the letters and grammar of a cosmic language. We may not be advanced enough to read it yet. Imagine an ancient tribe finding a modern computer server. They would see a strange box, perhaps feel its warmth, but they would have no concept of the vast libraries of information stored within its circuits. Perhaps we are like that tribe, looking at the CMB and seeing only a pretty picture, while missing the message encoded within. This is a speculative idea, but it is not outside the realm of possibility. It transforms our view of cosmic radiation from a simple physical artifact into a potential medium of communication, the grandest and oldest of them all. Let us imagine for a moment that this hypothesis is true. The universe is a message, and the cosmic microwave background is the medium. What would it take to distinguish this message from simple, natural patterns? This is a central question in the search for extraterrestrial intelligence, or SETI. When scientists scan the skies for signals from alien civilizations, they are looking for a specific type of signal, one that is complex and ordered, something that is unlikely to have been produced by natural cosmic processes. They are looking for a signal that has a high degree of specified complexity, a simple, repeating pattern, like a crystal structure, is ordered but not complex. A random noisy signal, like the static from a quasar, is complex but not ordered. A message, however, is both. It has a high degree of complexity, it's not simple, and it is also specified, meaning it conforms to an independent pattern or set of rules, like grammar or a mathematical sequence. Now let's look again at the CMB. Its pattern is certainly complex, and it is also specified. It is specified by the laws of physics as we understand them. But could there be another layer of specification, another layer of information hidden within it? Some scientists have begun to search for just that. They are analyzing the data from the Planck satellite with a new question in mind. Are there any anomalies, any patterns in the CMB that are not explained by our current cosmological models? Are there any features that seem artificial? This is a search for the cosmic equivalent of a watermark on a sheet of paper, a signature in the corner of a painting. It is an incredibly difficult task. The signal, if it exists, would be faint, and the noise of natural cosmic variance is immense. But the search is underway. Researchers are looking for strange alignments, unexpected repetitions, or mathematical constants encoded in the statistical properties of the temperature fluctuations. For example, could the value of pi, or the golden ratio, be hidden in the data in a way that could not be a coincidence? To date, no such smoking gun has been found. The CMB appears to be perfectly consistent with a natural origin, but our tools are getting more powerful, and our methods of analysis are becoming more sophisticated, and perhaps we simply haven't known what to look for. The message, if there is one, may be encoded in a way we cannot yet comprehend. As you continue to breathe deeply and evenly, picture yourself as a cosmic archaeologist. You are sifting through the oldest sands of time, searching for a sign, a symbol, a single, unmistakable artifact that says, "We were here. This was made." The search itself is a noble one, a testament to our insatiable curiosity and our deep-seated hope that we are not alone, and that our universe is not without meaning. If a message is indeed encoded in the fabric of the cosmos, what might it say? This is a question that leads us from the realm of physics into the realm of philosophy and imagination. The content of the message would surely be as universal as its medium. It would not be a trivial greeting or a set of local instructions. It would likely be something profound, timeless, and essential. Perhaps the message is a welcome, a simple statement encoded in the language of mathematics that consciousness is not an accident, that we are an expected and intended part of the cosmic design. Imagine the impact of such a discovery. It would fundamentally reframe humanity's understanding of itself. We would no longer be a lonely, accidental species on a tiny planet in a forgotten corner of a random universe. We would be citizens of a meaningful cosmos, participants in a grand, unfolding purpose. The loneliness and existential dread that so often characterize the modern condition might give way to a sense of belonging, a feeling of being at home in the universe. Or perhaps the message is a set of instructions, a sort of creator's manual for the universe. It could contain the final, unified theory of physics that scientists have been searching for, the elegant set of equations that governs all forces and particles. It could reveal the secrets of dark matter and dark energy, or even provide clues about what, if anything, came before the Big Bang. It could be a key, unlocking a deeper understanding of reality, a gift of knowledge from the architect to the inhabitants of the structure. This knowledge could be a great boon, allowing us to harness the laws of nature in ways we can currently only dream of. Another possibility is that the message is a warning or a piece of wisdom. It might be a moral or ethical teaching, a cosmic golden rule. Encoded in the harmony of the physical laws might be a lesson about the importance of harmony in our own lives, a call for cooperation, compassion, and the preservation of the complex and beautiful life that the universe has allowed to emerge. It could be a reminder that we are all made of stardust, all connected by the same fundamental laws, and that our divisions are trivial in the grand cosmic scheme. As you drift on the edge of sleep, allow your mind to play with these possibilities. What message would you hope to find? A welcome? A piece of knowledge? A word of wisdom? The very act of asking the question connects us to the mystery. It is a form of listening, a way of tuning our own consciousness to the potential music of the spheres. Now, we must address a powerful counter-argument, a different way of explaining the apparent fine-tuning of our universe without invoking a creator. This is the idea of the multiverse. The multiverse hypothesis suggests that our universe is not the only one. Instead, it is just one bubble in a vast, perhaps infinite, cosmic foam of other universes. Each of these universes could have its own, different set of physical laws and constants. In one universe, gravity might be 1,000,000 times stronger. In another, there might be only 2 dimensions of space. In yet another, the forces of physics might be so weak that no atoms could ever form. The vast majority of these universes would be sterile, empty, and dead, incapable of supporting any form of complexity or life. They would be cosmic stillbirths. But if there are an infinite number of these universes, then by pure statistical chance, some of them, perhaps a very small fraction, must have the right combination of laws and constants to allow for the emergence of stars, galaxies, and conscious observers. According to this view, we find ourselves in a finely tuned universe for the same reason a fish finds itself in water. We couldn't exist anywhere else. There is no miracle, no design. We simply live in one of the rare universes where the conditions are right for our kind of life. It's a selection effect. We won a cosmic lottery, but only because there were an infinite number of tickets being drawn. The multiverse is a grand and fascinating idea, and it is taken seriously by many leading physicists. It elegantly explains the fine-tuning problem without resorting to a supernatural explanation. However, it comes with its own set of challenges. By its very nature, we can never directly observe or test for the existence of these other universes. They are causally disconnected from our own. Therefore, is the multiverse a truly scientific theory? Or is it a metaphysical proposition, an article of faith just like the belief in a creator? It pushes the question of origins back one level. We are left asking, not why our universe is the way it is, but why the multiverse generating mechanism exists, and why it produces universes with such a wide variety of properties. It replaces one mystery with another. As you relax, imagine this cosmic foam. Picture countless universes bubbling into existence, each with a different fate. See our own universe as one bright, warm, life-filled bubble in a cold, dark, infinite sea. Does this image make our existence feel less special or more so? The multiverse is a humbling concept, a reminder of the vastness of possibility. It does not disprove the idea of a message, but it offers a powerful alternative narrative, one in which our universe is a product of chance and necessity, not of purpose and intent. This leads us to a fascinating and subtle philosophical idea known as the anthropic principle. In its simplest form, the weak anthropic principle states that the observed values of all physical and cosmological quantities are not equally probable, but they are restricted by the requirement that there exists a place for carbon-based life to evolve, and by the requirement that the universe is old enough for it to have done so. This sounds complicated, but it is actually a very simple and profound idea. It is a form of selection bias. We observe the universe to be the way it is, because if it were any different, we would not be here to observe it. For example, we should not be surprised that we live on a planet with liquid water and a stable atmosphere, because those are the conditions necessary for our form of life to exist. Similarly, we should not be surprised to find ourselves in a universe with laws that allow for stars and galaxies and chemistry, because those are the prerequisites for our existence. It is a simple tautology. The universe we see must be compatible with our presence. This principle can be used to support the multiverse theory. We are in this specific universe because it is one of the few that could support us. However, there is a more provocative version of this idea, the strong anthropic principle. It suggests that the universe must have those properties that allow life to develop within it at some stage in its history. This is a much more controversial claim. It implies that the emergence of consciousness is not just a happy accident, but is somehow a necessary and fundamental feature of the cosmos. In this view, the universe is not just compatible with life, it is in some way compelled to produce it. It is as if the universe itself has an inherent purpose, a goal. And that goal is the creation of observers who can look back upon it and marvel at its beauty. This idea brings us full circle back to the notion of a creator or a purpose. It suggests that the fine-tuning is not a coincidence, but a requirement. The universe is tailored for consciousness. Our existence is not a fluke, but the fulfillment of a cosmic potential. It implies that we are not just passive observers of the universe, but active participants. Our consciousness, in this view, is the means by which the universe becomes aware of itself. As you rest, consider this deep connection. You are not separate from the universe, looking in from the outside. You are a part of the universe. The atoms in your body were forged in the hearts of distant, long-dead stars. The consciousness that is listening to these words is a product of 13.8 billion years of cosmic evolution. The anthropic principle, in its strongest form, suggests that this was not an accident. You are the universe, observing itself, and in that act of observation, the great cosmic loop is closed. Let's return to the core idea, the possibility of a message, a creator's signature. If we were to set aside the multiverse and other explanations and entertain the notion of a deliberate design, what would this signature look like? It would have to be something unmistakably artificial, yet woven seamlessly into the natural world. It would need to be universal, accessible to any civilization that reached a certain level of scientific understanding, regardless of their biology or homeworld. It would have to be eternal, or at least as long-lasting as the universe itself. The cosmic microwave background fits these criteria perfectly. It is universal, filling all of space. It is ancient and will be detectable for trillions of years to come. And it is accessible to any civilization that develops radio astronomy. So, what could the signature be? Some have speculated that it could be a geometric pattern. For example, a perfect circle or square visible on the largest scales of the CMB map would be a stunning anomaly, impossible to explain through natural processes. Or perhaps it is a number. Imagine if, after careful analysis of the statistical properties of the CMB, a fundamental mathematical constant, like pi, emerged, encoded to hundreds of decimal places. This would be an undeniable sign of intelligence. Another fascinating idea comes from computer science. Physicist James Gates has found what appear to be self-correcting codes, similar to those used in computer data transmission, embedded within the equations of supersymmetry, a theory that attempts to unify the fundamental forces of physics. He suggests that the very laws of nature may be written on a deeper level, as a form of computer code. If this is true, then perhaps the creator's signature is not in the CMB, but in the very operating system of reality. The universe might not just contain a message, the universe itself might be the message. This concept is mind-bending. It suggests we are living inside a vast computational system. This is often called the simulation hypothesis. In this scenario, the fine-tuning is easily explained. The programmer simply set the parameters of the simulation to the desired values. The creator's signature might be a subtle flaw in the code, a glitch in the matrix, or a hidden message left for the inhabitants of the simulation to find. As you relax into a state of deep calm, Allow your imagination to embrace this idea. Feel the world around you, not as a collection of solid objects, but as a flow of information, a stream of cosmic data. Your consciousness is a process running on this cosmic computer. And perhaps, just perhaps, if we learn to listen carefully enough, we can hear the hum of the machine itself and find the artist's signature in the source code of existence. Let us take a moment to consider the messenger itself, the cosmic radiation. We have been discussing it as a carrier of information, as a potential message, but the medium is also part of the message. This radiation is light, the oldest light in the universe. Light is a powerful symbol in almost every human culture and spiritual tradition. It represents knowledge, enlightenment, creation, and the divine. The first act of creation in many stories is the declaration, "Let there be light." The CMB is, in a very real sense, that first light. It is the physical manifestation of the universe's dawn. So, if there is a message, it is written in a language of pure, ancient light. This adds another layer of poetry to our hypothesis. The Creator did not choose to write their message in stone or in stars, which are ephemeral and local. They chose the most fundamental and universal medium possible, the light of creation itself. This light has traveled for 13.8 billion years to reach us. It has journeyed across expanding space, witnessed the birth of the first galaxies, and passed through vast, empty voids. It has been stretched and cooled by the expansion of the universe, its fiery, energetic gamma rays transformed into the gentle, cool microwaves that we detect today. There is a profound symbolism in this transformation. The message was sent in a blaze of glory at the very beginning of time, but it arrives as a faint, cool whisper. It does not shout. It hums. It does not demand our attention. It waits patiently to be discovered. This suggests something about the nature of the potential creator. It suggests a personality that is subtle, patient, and non-coercive. The message is not an undeniable, overwhelming revelation that forces belief. It is a quiet clue, a subtle hint, a puzzle left for curious minds to solve. It respects our intellectual freedom. We are not commanded to believe. We are invited to wonder. As you breathe in and out, slowly and deeply, imagine this light's incredible journey. Picture it being released in the hot, dense, infant universe. See it traveling through the darkness of the cosmic dark ages before the first stars ignited. Watch as galaxies form and swirl in its path, and feel it now at the end of its long pilgrimage, arriving here at this planet, in this room, and passing through you. You are in this moment connected to the very beginning of time by an unbroken thread of ancient light. You are a recipient of the oldest mail in the universe. Let's explore the implications of this idea for our own sense of place and purpose. If the universe is a message and we are the intended recipients, it dramatically changes our role in the cosmos. We are no longer just a random byproduct of blind, purposeless forces. We become central to the story. Our existence, and the existence of any conscious being anywhere in the universe, becomes the very point of creation. Why would a creator bother to leave a message? A message implies a desire to communicate. Communication requires a communicator and an audience. If the universe contains a message, it implies that the Creator values consciousness, values understanding, values the very act of knowing. In this narrative, we are the universe's way of thinking about itself. We are the local nerve endings of a cosmic mind. Our scientific discoveries, our artistic creations, our philosophical inquiries, these are not just human activities. They are cosmic events. When we decipher a law of physics, we are reading a sentence of the Creator's message. When we create a piece of music that reflects the mathematical harmony of the cosmos, we are echoing the Creator's voice. This perspective can be a powerful antidote to feelings of meaninglessness or insignificance. The universe is vast, and we are small, it is true. But in this view, our size does not determine our importance. A single human brain is small, but it contains more connections than there are stars in the Milky Way galaxy. It is the most complex object we have yet discovered in the universe. Perhaps our significance lies not in our physical scale, but in our capacity for awareness. As you lie here, on the cusp of sleep, feel the significance of your own awareness. Your ability to think, to feel, to wonder about these grand questions is, in itself, a miracle. It is the culmination of a 13.8 billion year journey from the Big Bang to this very moment. You are not an insignificant speck. You are a vessel of cosmic consciousness. You are a reader of the great cosmic book. Whether the book was written by a divine author or by the blind hand of chance, the act of reading it gives our lives a profound and noble purpose. The search for knowledge, the pursuit of understanding, is the most meaningful quest we can undertake. Let's turn our attention to the silence. Not the silence in your room, but the cosmic silence. This is known as the Fermi paradox. The universe is ancient and vast. There are hundreds of billions of galaxies, each with hundreds of billions of stars. Many of these stars likely have planets. Statistically, there should be millions, if not billions, of planets capable of supporting life. And many of these should have had life for far longer than Earth has. Therefore, the universe should be teeming with advanced spacefaring civilizations. Their signals should be all over the sky. We should see evidence of their vast engineering projects. Yet, we see nothing. We hear nothing. The sky is silent. This is the great paradox. Where is everybody? There are many proposed solutions to the Fermi paradox. Perhaps interstellar travel is simply too difficult. Perhaps advanced civilizations inevitably destroy themselves. Perhaps they are deliberately hiding from us. Or perhaps life, especially intelligent life, is just incredibly, vanishingly rare. This last possibility is known as the rare Earth hypothesis. It suggests that the chain of events that led to intelligent life on Earth was so long and so improbable that it may have happened only once in our entire galaxy, or even in the entire observable universe. It required a stable, long-lived star of the right type, a planet in the habitable zone with a large moon to stabilize its axis, plate tectonics to regulate the climate, a magnetic field to shield from radiation, and 1,000 other lucky coincidences. In this view, we are not just lucky, we are miraculously, uniquely lucky. But what if the cosmic silence is not a sign of absence, but a sign of subtlety? what if the other advanced civilizations or the Creator itself are not communicating through loud, obvious radio broadcasts? What if they are communicating in a more fundamental, more universal, and more patient way? What if the message is not in a bottle, but is the ocean itself? The cosmic microwave background could be the solution to the Fermi paradox. The communication is happening all the time, all around us. It is the universal broadcast channel. But we've only just, in the last few decades, developed the technology to even see it, let alone to try and decipher it. Perhaps the sky is not silent. Perhaps we have simply been deaf, listening for whispers in a hurricane when the message is in the steady, gentle blowing of the wind itself. As you listen to the quiet around you, imagine that it is not empty. Imagine it is full of a silent, profound broadcast, a message of immense age and wisdom. The universe is not shouting at us. It is waiting for us to become quiet enough and wise enough to listen. Now let's consider the aesthetic dimension of this idea. The universe is not just functional, it is beautiful. The images from the Hubble and James Webb space telescopes reveal a cosmos of breathtaking artistry. We see the delicate, glowing filaments of the Eagle Nebula, the ghostly dance of the Phantom Galaxy, the fiery remnants of a supernova explosion. These are objects of immense beauty on a scale that dwarfs any human creation. Where does this beauty come from? A purely materialistic view would say that beauty is in the eye of the beholder. It is a subjective human response, a product of our evolved psychology. We find certain patterns pleasing because they may have signaled safety or resources to our ancestors. There is no inherent beauty in a nebula. We are just projecting our own aesthetic sense onto it. But another perspective is possible. Perhaps the beauty is real and objective. Perhaps the universe has an inherent aesthetic quality. The same mathematical laws that produce a stable, life-sustaining universe also happen to produce structures that we find beautiful. The equations of general relativity, which describe the elegant dance of gravity and spacetime, are considered by physicists to be incredibly beautiful. The fractal geometry that describes a coastline or a snowflake also describes the large-scale structure of the universe. It seems that the true, the good, and the beautiful are deeply intertwined in the fabric of reality. If we accept the idea of a creator, then this cosmic beauty can be seen as an act of divine artistry. The universe is not just a machine, it is a masterpiece. The creator is not just an engineer, they are a grand artist. The message, then, is not just informational, it is aesthetic. It is a poem written in the language of stars and light. The cosmic microwave background map, with its subtle and complex patterns, is the first stroke of the master's brush. It is the underpainting upon which all subsequent cosmic beauty has been layered. In this view, our role is not just to be scientists and decoders, but to be art critics and appreciators. Our ability to perceive and appreciate beauty is not just a biological quirk, it is a way of communing with the Creator. When we are moved to awe by a starry night or a picture of a distant galaxy, we are having a form of spiritual experience. We are appreciating the Creator's art. As you drift toward sleep, fill your mind with these images of cosmic beauty. See the swirling colors of a nebula, Picture the majestic spiral of a galaxy. Feel the awe and wonder that these images evoke. This feeling of awe is a powerful and healing emotion. It quiets the ego, connects us to something larger than ourselves, and reminds us that we are part of a universe that is not just ordered, but also spectacularly, gratuitously beautiful. Let us explore the idea of time. The message in the cosmic radiation is a message from the distant past. It has been traveling towards us for almost the entire history of the universe. This introduces a profound temporal gap between the sender and the receiver. When the message was sent, there was no Earth, no sun, no Milky Way galaxy. The universe was a simple, hot, uniform place. The sender, if there was one, was operating at the very dawn of time. And we, the receivers, are here in the universe's late afternoon. This vast expanse of time adds to the message's mystique and power. It is a communication from a lost, ancient civilization, but a civilization that was present at the creation itself. This also means the message was sent with incredible foresight and patience. The sender could not have known exactly who would receive the message or when. They could only have known that if the laws of physics were set up in a certain way, then complexity and consciousness would eventually emerge somewhere, and that those conscious beings would one day develop the science to detect the ancient light. It is an act of supreme optimism, an expression of faith in the future. It is like planting a seed for a tree that will only provide shade to generations 1,000 years in the future, or like composing a piece of music that can only be played on an instrument that has not yet been invented. This patience is a powerful lesson. In our own lives, we are often so focused on immediate results, on instant gratification. We live in a culture of speed and urgency. The cosmic message reminds us of the power of long-term thinking, of acting for the benefit of a distant future. It teaches us to have faith in the processes of growth and evolution. As you lay in bed, feel the flow of time. Feel your own life as a small but significant part of this immense cosmic river. You are connected to a past that is billions of years old, and you are a link to a future that is yet to be born. The message from the dawn of time is a reminder that we are part of a story that is much larger than our own individual lives. It invites us to think, not just about our own legacy, but about the legacy of our species and the future of consciousness in the universe. We are the recipients of an ancient gift, and we have a responsibility to be good stewards of that gift, to preserve the consciousness that allows us to receive it, and to pass on the wonder and the wisdom to the generations that will follow us. Let's consider the nature of the code itself. If there is a message, it is likely written in the universal language of mathematics. This suggests that the universe is, at its deepest level, mathematical. The physicist Eugene Wigner wrote about the unreasonable effectiveness of mathematics in the natural sciences. It is a profound mystery why the abstract, logical structures of mathematics, which are products of the human mind, should so perfectly describe the workings of the physical universe. Why should the world be so comprehensible to us? If the universe is a creation, a product of a mind, then this mystery is solved. The universe is mathematical because Its creator was a mathematician. The physical world is the manifestation of a set of elegant, logical, mathematical ideas. The laws of nature are the thoughts of the creator. When we do physics, when we discover a new mathematical equation that describes the world, we are, as Galileo said, reading the mind of God. This idea, known as the Pythagorean or Platonic view, sees mathematics not as a human invention, but as a human discovery. We are uncovering a pre-existing mathematical reality that underpins the physical world. The message in the CMB would be the ultimate confirmation of this worldview. It would show that not only are the laws of the universe mathematical, but that there is a layer of intentional, mathematical communication embedded within it. The numbers and patterns in the CMB would not just describe the universe, they would be a deliberate statement, a proof from the grand mathematician. What kind of mathematics would be used? It would likely be based on fundamental, universal concepts. Prime numbers, for instance, are the same everywhere in the universe. Mathematical constants like pi or e are universal. Geometric truths are universal. The message would be constructed from these timeless, placeless building blocks. It would be a text that any intelligent, mathematically inclined species could in principle read. As you relax, let your mind become quiet and still. Think of the purity and clarity of a mathematical truth. 2 plus 2 equals 4. This is a statement that is true and will always be true, everywhere. There is a deep and profound peace in this kind of certainty. The idea that the universe is fundamentally built on this kind of clear, logical, and beautiful structure can be incredibly comforting. It suggests that reality is not a chaotic, meaningless accident, but a rational and coherent system, and that we, with our rational minds, have the ability to understand it. We are in tune with the fundamental logic of the cosmos. Let us now contemplate the scale of this potential message. It is written not on a page, but on the entire celestial sphere. It is a text that is as large as the observable universe. The sheer grandeur of this is difficult to comprehend. It speaks of a creator with unimaginable power and vision. It is the ultimate act of thinking big. This sense of scale is a recurring theme in astronomy, and it can be a source of both anxiety and comfort. On one hand, it can make us feel small and insignificant. Our planet is a tiny speck of dust orbiting an average star in a nondescript galaxy, which is itself just one of billions. Our lives are a fleeting moment in a cosmic history that spans billions of years. This can lead to a feeling of existential vertigo, a sense of being lost in an overwhelmingly vast and indifferent cosmos. But there is another way to look at it. The vastness of the universe can also be a source of liberation and perspective. Our earthly problems, our anxieties and worries, which can seem so large and all-consuming in our daily lives, are put into their proper context when viewed against the backdrop of the cosmos. The scale of the universe invites us to transcend our own egos, to see ourselves as part of a much larger and more magnificent reality. If there is a message written on this grand scale, it reinforces this sense of perspective. It is a reminder that the story is not just about us here on this planet. It is a universal story. The message is addressed to all conscious beings, everywhere and for all time. It is a unifying concept. It suggests that if we were to ever meet another intelligent species from a distant star, we would have something profound in common. We would both be inhabitants of the same meaningful cosmos, recipients of the same ancient message. We would be fellow students in the same cosmic school, trying to decipher the same text. This can foster a sense of cosmic kinship, a feeling of connection not just to our fellow humans, but to all life and all consciousness that may exist in the vastness of space. As you drift, let your own consciousness expand. Feel yourself floating in this immense, beautiful universe. Let go of your small, earthly concerns. Feel your connection to the stars, to the galaxies, and to the ancient light that fills all of space. You are a child of the cosmos, a part of its grand and unfolding story. There is a deep peace to be found in this perspective, a sense of belonging to something truly eternal and magnificent. Let's revisit the concept of fine-tuning, but from a different angle. We've talked about the fundamental constants, but there's another layer of fine-tuning that is just as remarkable: the initial conditions of the universe. At the moment of the Big Bang, the universe had to have a very specific amount of matter and energy, and it had to be expanding at a very specific rate. This is known as the flatness problem. The geometry of space-time can be curved, like the surface of a sphere or a saddle, or it can be flat, like a sheet of paper. Our universe is incredibly, remarkably flat. For it to be this flat today, after 13.8 billion years of expansion, its initial density had to be fine-tuned to an accuracy of 1 part in 10 to the power of 60. That is a 1 with 60 zeros after it. This is a level of precision that is impossible to comprehend. It's like balancing a pencil on its tip and having it stay there for 13.8 billion years. A tiny deviation in the initial density would have had dramatic consequences. If the universe had been slightly more dense, gravity would have quickly overwhelmed the expansion, and the universe would have collapsed back on itself in a big crunch long before galaxies could form. If it had been slightly less dense, the expansion would have been too rapid, and matter would have dispersed too quickly for gravity to pull it together into stars and galaxies. The universe would have become a cold, empty, dilute gas. Again, we are faced with a cosmic knife's edge. Our existence depends on this incredible initial balance. The theory of cosmic inflation was developed in part to solve this problem. Inflation proposes that in the first fraction of a second after the Big Bang, the universe underwent a period of hyper-accelerated expansion, growing exponentially in size. This process would have stretched any initial curvature flat, just as blowing up a balloon makes its surface appear flatter. Inflation is a powerful and elegant theory, and it solves several cosmological puzzles at once. But it also requires its own form of fine-tuning. The field that drives inflation, the inflaton, must have very specific properties. So in some ways, it pushes the problem of fine-tuning back to an even earlier stage. Whether we look at the constants of nature or the initial conditions of the cosmos, we find the same pattern of exquisite, life-permitting precision. It is the central, recurring clue in our cosmic detective story. As you relax, feel the stability of the space around you. The floor beneath you is solid. The air is calm. This stability is a reflection of the fundamental stability of our universe, a stability that was set in the very first moment of time, with an accuracy that defies imagination. It is a quiet, constant miracle that makes everything else possible. Let's think about the different kinds of order we see in the world. There is the order of a crystal, a simple, repeating pattern. It is highly ordered, but it contains very little information. Then there is the order of a random gas, which has no pattern at all. It is disordered and also contains little information. But then there is the order of a living organism or a language. This is a different kind of order called complexity. It is a rich, intricate, and information-dense order. It is the middle ground between rigid, simple patterns and chaotic randomness. A Shakespearean sonnet is not a simple repeating crystal, nor is it a random string of letters. It is a complex, specified structure. The universe, it seems, is full of this kind of complexity. Life itself is the premier example. But the large-scale structure of the cosmos also shows this kind of complex order. The galaxies are not arranged in a simple crystalline lattice, nor are they distributed randomly. They form a vast, intricate network of filaments and voids, a cosmic web that is both structured and complex. The patterns in the cosmic microwave background also exhibit this quality. They are not simply repetitive, nor are they pure, featureless noise. They have a rich, complex statistical structure. This is precisely the kind of order that we associate with intelligence and design. When we create something, a piece of music, a work of art, a computer program, we are creating this kind of complex, specified order. This is why the idea of a message in the cosmos is so compelling. The universe seems to possess the very signature of mind. It has the kind of structure that minds produce. This is not a proof, but it is a powerful and suggestive analogy. It leads to a view of the universe not as a dumb, blind machine, but as something more akin to a thought, a vast, complex, and beautiful thought, being thought by a cosmic mind. In this view, our own minds are not alien intrusions into a mindless universe. They are a natural and expected expression of the universe's own inherent intelligence. We are small eddies of thought in a great cosmic ocean of thought. Our ability to think, to reason, to create complex, ordered things is a reflection of the fundamental nature of reality. As you lie here, notice the complexity of your own body, the intricate network of cells and organs all working together in a harmonious, complex order. Notice the flow of your own thoughts, the way ideas and images connect in a rich and meaningful pattern. Your own being is a microcosm of the universe's own complex, information-rich structure. You are a living example of the kind of order that makes us wonder if the universe itself is the product of a mind. Let's consider the emotional impact of this search. The quest for a cosmic message is not just a scientific endeavor. It is a deeply human one. It is driven by some of our most fundamental psychological needs. The need for meaning, for purpose, for connection. For much of human history, these needs were met by traditional religions and mythologies. These stories gave people a sense of their place in the cosmos, a moral framework, and a feeling of connection to a divine creator. In the modern, scientific era, many of these traditional narratives have lost their power for some people. Science has revealed a universe that is vastly older, larger, and more indifferent than our ancestors ever imagined. This can lead to a sense of cosmic loneliness and existential angst. We are, as some have said, orphans in an empty cosmos. The search for a message in the CMB can be seen as a modern, scientific expression of this ancient human longing for connection. It is a search for a new, evidence-based cosmology that can restore a sense of meaning and purpose to our lives. It is an attempt to find God in the equations of physics, to see the face of the Creator in the data from our telescopes. This is a delicate and potentially dangerous path. We must be careful not to let our desires and hopes cloud our scientific judgment. We must be rigorous, skeptical, and willing to accept the evidence, even if it leads to an answer we don't like. For example, the answer that the universe is, in fact, a meaningless accident. Wishful thinking is not a path to truth. However, we should also not be afraid to ask the big questions. We should not let a fear of being unscientific prevent us from exploring the deepest and most profound mysteries of existence. It is possible to be both a rigorous scientist and a person of deep wonder and humility. The search for a cosmic message, whether it succeeds or fails, is a noble and worthwhile pursuit. It expands our minds, deepens our appreciation for the universe, and connects us to the long tradition of human beings who have looked up at the night sky and asked the ultimate questions. Why are we here? What is the meaning of it all? As you rest, allow yourself to feel this deep human longing for connection. It is a beautiful and powerful part of who you are. It is the engine of all science, all art, all philosophy. It is the voice inside you that looks out at the vast, silent universe and whispers, "Is anybody there?" Let us consider the possibility that the message is not just in the past, in the cosmic radiation, but that it is also unfolding in the present. The universe is not a static object. It is a dynamic, evolving process. Creation was not a one-time event that happened at the Big Bang. It is an ongoing activity. The universe continues to evolve, to create new structures, new complexities, new forms of life and consciousness. Perhaps the Creator's message is not a single, fixed text, but a continuous, unfolding story. And we are not just readers of this story. We are co-authors. Our choices, our actions, our discoveries are all contributing to the next chapter of the cosmic narrative. In this view, the fine-tuning of the universe was not just to create a stable backdrop for life to accidentally emerge. It was to create a universe that is a creativity engine, a system designed to generate novelty, complexity, and consciousness. The purpose of the universe is to evolve, to grow, to become more aware, more intelligent, more beautiful. And we are at the cutting edge of that evolutionary process on this planet. Our lives have a cosmic significance. When we learn something new, when we create a work of art, when we act with compassion and love, we are contributing to the universe's own process of self-realization. We are helping to write the Creator's unfolding message. This is a very empowering and inspiring perspective. It means that our lives are not meaningless. We have a role to play in the grand cosmic drama. It gives us a sense of responsibility. We are the stewards of consciousness on this planet. We have a duty to nurture it, to protect it, and to help it grow and evolve in a positive direction. As you lay here, feeling the gentle rhythm of your own breath, think of yourself as a part of this ongoing creative process. You are a unique and precious expression of the universe's creative potential. The universe is expressing itself through you, right here, right now. Your thoughts, your feelings, your dreams, these are not just yours. They are the universe's own explorations of possibility. This can bring a sense of profound peace and acceptance. You are exactly where you are supposed to be, doing exactly what you are supposed to be doing, being a conscious, creative part of an evolving, meaningful cosmos. Let's imagine for a moment that we find it, that tomorrow an announcement is made. A team of cosmologists analyzing the Planck data has found an unmistakable, statistically impossible pattern in the cosmic microwave background. A message, a signature. What would happen next? The initial impact would be one of the most profound moments in human history. It would be a discovery that would dwarf all others. It would be front page news in every country, the lead story on every channel. It would ignite a fire of excitement, debate, and wonder across the globe. Scientists would work feverishly to confirm the finding and to begin the long, difficult process of trying to decipher the message. Philosophers and theologians would grapple with its implications. What does this mean for our understanding of God, of reality, of our own purpose? The world's religions would have to respond. Some might see it as a confirmation of their faith. Others might see it as a challenge. It would likely lead to new spiritual movements, new ways of thinking about our relationship with the divine. It would also have a profound, unifying effect on humanity. The discovery would belong to everyone. It would be a shared heritage, a common point of reference for every person on the planet. In the face of such a cosmic revelation, our own earthly squabbles and divisions would seem petty and insignificant. We would be forced to see ourselves as a single species, the inhabitants of a single planet, who have just been given a profound and mysterious gift. It might be the very thing we need to overcome our differences and to work together for a common future. Of course, there could also be negative reactions: fear, confusion, denial. Some might try to exploit the discovery for power or profit, but one would hope that the sense of awe and wonder would prevail. The discovery would be a rite of passage for our species, a moment of cosmic adulthood. We would no longer be alone, wandering in the dark. We would know that we are part of a larger, meaningful reality. As you fall deeper into a state of peace, allow yourself to feel the excitement and hope of this imagined future. Picture the world coming together in a shared sense of wonder. It is a beautiful and inspiring vision, and it is a reminder that the search for knowledge, the search for truth, has the power to elevate and unite us. The quest itself, even if we never find the final answer, makes us better. It makes us more curious, more humble, and more connected to the grand mystery of which we are all a part. Let us consider the texture of the universe's fabric, the very smallest scales of reality. We've spoken of the largest scale, the CMB, but perhaps clues are hidden in the quantum realm as well. Quantum mechanics, the theory of the very small, is famously strange and counterintuitive. Particles can be in multiple places at once. They can be instantaneously connected across vast distances. The act of observing a quantum system seems to change its reality. It is a world that seems less like a collection of tiny billiard balls and more like a shimmering web of possibilities and information. Some physicists and philosophers have suggested that consciousness itself may play a fundamental role in the quantum world. The idea, though controversial, is that consciousness is not something that arises from complex brains, but is a fundamental property of the universe, and that the strange rules of quantum mechanics are a reflection of this. The observer effect, in this view, is a hint that the universe is not a separate, objective reality that we are looking at. Instead, it is a participatory reality. We are not just spectators, we are co-creators of what is real. If this is true, then the message from the Creator may not be a static one, written in the past. It might be a dynamic, interactive one, a dialogue that is happening right now at the quantum level. The universe might be responding to our questions, to our very act of observation. The search for a message would not be a passive act of listening, but an active act of co-creation. We would be, in a sense, helping to write the message as we read it. This is a radical and mind-bending idea. It dissolves the firm boundary between ourselves and the universe, between mind and matter. It suggests a cosmos that is alive, intelligent, and responsive. It paints a picture of a creator who is not a distant, detached architect, but an immanent, ever-present creative force, constantly engaged in a dance with its creation. As you lie here, feel the boundary between yourself and the world around you begin to soften. Feel the air you breathe becoming a part of you. Feel the atoms in your body as a part of the vast, shimmering quantum field that makes up all of reality. You are not just in the universe is in you. Your consciousness is a focal point for the universe's own self-awareness. In this deep, interconnected reality, communication is not something that happens across a distance. It is a constant, intimate communion. The message is not something to be found. It is something to be experienced in every moment of conscious awareness. Let's turn our gaze inward to the nature of our own consciousness. It is perhaps the greatest mystery of all. How does a collection of non-conscious particles, the atoms in our brain, give rise to the rich, subjective, inner world of thoughts, feelings, and awareness? This is the so-called hard problem of consciousness. Science can explain how the brain processes information, how it responds to stimuli, how it controls the body, but it has no explanation for why it feels like something to be alive. Why is there an I that is having this experience? Some believe that consciousness is simply an emergent property of complex information processing, a trick of the brain's wiring. But others find this explanation unsatisfying. They feel that consciousness is something more fundamental. What if consciousness is the ultimate message? What if the entire 13.8 billion year history of the universe, the fine-tuned constants, the formation of galaxies and stars, the evolution of life, was all for the purpose of creating beings who could experience it. In this view, the universe is a consciousness creating machine. The message is not written in the sky. The message is you. Your awareness is a creator's signature. The fact that you can lie here in the dark and ponder the mysteries of the cosmos is the ultimate proof of a deeper purpose. The universe was designed to be known, to be experienced, to be appreciated, and you are the vessel for that knowing. This perspective gives our individual lives an incredible sense of value and importance. Your subjective experience of the world, your joys, your sorrows, your moments of wonder, are not just insignificant blips in a cosmic void. They are the very point of the whole enterprise. The Creator's goal was to create a universe that could feel, and you are a part of that feeling. This can be a deeply comforting and healing idea. It means that your inner life matters. Your awareness is precious. It is a gift, a sacred trust. It invites you to pay more attention to your own experience, to cultivate a sense of gratitude for the simple fact of being conscious. As you drift towards sleep, bring your attention to your own awareness. Feel the sensation of the blankets on your skin. Hear the quiet sounds in the room. Notice the gentle rise and fall of your breath. This simple, present moment awareness is the message. It is the Creator's gift. It is the universe experiencing itself through you. There's nothing more you need to do, nothing more you need to find. You are already home. You are already part of the grand, mysterious, and beautiful cosmic conversation. As we near the end of our journey for tonight, let's consider the concept of resonance. In physics, resonance is the tendency of a system to oscillate with greater amplitude at some frequencies than at others. When you strike a tuning fork, it vibrates at its natural, resonant frequency. If you bring another tuning fork of the same frequency nearby, it will start to vibrate as well, picking up the vibrations through the air. This is sympathetic resonance. What if our search for meaning, our feeling that there is a purpose to the universe, is a form of spiritual resonance? Perhaps our consciousness has a natural frequency, a frequency that is in tune with the fundamental nature of the cosmos. And perhaps the universe itself is vibrating with a kind of meaning, a purpose, a message. When we quiet our minds, when we contemplate the beauty and order of the universe, we are tuning ourselves to this cosmic frequency. The feeling of awe, of wonder, of connection that we experience is the sensation of our own consciousness resonating with the deeper reality of the universe. The idea of a message in the CMB is a concrete, scientific way of thinking about this resonance. We are looking for a literal signal, a pattern in the data. But a deeper truth may be more subtle. The message may not be in the data itself, but in the relationship between the data and our own minds. The universe is a grand instrument, and our consciousness is the resonator. The music is the feeling of meaning that arises when the two are in tune. This means that the search for the message is not just an external one, involving telescopes and computers. It's also an internal one. It involves cultivating a state of mind that is open, quiet, and receptive. It involves practices like meditation, contemplation, and spending time in nature. These are all ways of tuning our own inner instrument, of clearing out the noise and static of our daily lives so that we can better hear the subtle music of the cosmos. As you prepare to fall asleep, think of your own mind as a sensitive receiver. Your breath is the gentle process of tuning. With each slow, deep breath, you are becoming more still, more quiet, more attuned to the deep and silent hum of the universe. You don't have to strive or search. You simply have to relax, to let go, and to listen. The message is not far away. It's here, in the quiet resonance between your own awareness and the vast, intelligent, and beautiful universe of which you are a part. Let us explore one final grand idea: the universe as a work of art. We have touched on this, but let's delve deeper. What is the purpose of art? Art is not created for a purely functional reason. A great painting or a symphony is not a tool to solve a practical problem. Its purpose is to evoke an experience in the observer, an experience of beauty, of emotion, of wonder, of a deeper truth. Art is a form of communication, but it communicates on a level that transcends simple, literal information. It communicates through feeling, through intuition, through a direct resonance with the soul. What if the universe is the ultimate work of art? What if the creator is not a scientist or an engineer, but a grand artist, and the Big Bang was the first creative act? In this view, the fine-tuning of the universe is not about creating a stable machine for life, but about setting up the right conditions for a beautiful and dramatic story to unfold. The laws of physics are the rules of the medium, the constraints that give the artwork its form and structure. The evolution of galaxies, stars, planets, and life is the unfolding of the artistic narrative. The beauty of a nebula, the complexity of a living cell, the drama of a supernova, these are not accidental byproducts. They are the very point of the creation. They are expressions of the creator's artistic vision. And what is our role in this cosmic art gallery? We are the audience. Our consciousness is a necessary ingredient for the artwork to be complete. A painting that is never seen, a piece of music that is never heard, is in some sense incomplete. Its purpose is only fulfilled when it is experienced. Our ability to perceive, to appreciate, to be moved by the beauty of the universe is the final, crucial element of the artistic process. We are the ones for whom the show was created. The message, then, is the artwork itself. The communication is the aesthetic experience. When we feel a sense of awe looking at the stars, we are getting the message. We are appreciating the creator's art. There is no hidden code to decipher, no complex text to translate. The message is a direct, unmediated experience of the beauty and grandeur of the cosmos. As you drift off to sleep, imagine yourself in this grand cosmic gallery. The stars are the brushstrokes, the galaxies are the sculptures. You are surrounded by a work of art of unimaginable scale and beauty. Your only task is to appreciate it, to let its beauty wash over you, to feel the wonder and gratitude that it inspires. This is a profound and joyful purpose. We are the beholders of cosmic beauty. And in that act of beholding, we complete the circle of creation. Let's consider the concept of information itself in a deeper way. We often think of information as something separate from the physical world, something abstract. But in modern physics, there is a growing view that information may be the most fundamental thing in the universe, more fundamental than matter, more fundamental than energy. This is the it from bit idea proposed by physicist John Archibald Wheeler. It suggests that every it, every particle, every force, every bit of physical reality derives its existence from bits, from binary, yes/no questions, from pure information. In this view, the universe is not a physical machine that happens to process information. The universe is, at its deepest level, a vast quantum computer. The laws of physics are the algorithm that this computer is running. The Big Bang was the moment the program was initiated. The evolution of the universe is the unfolding of this cosmic computation. This idea dovetails beautifully with our exploration. If the universe is fundamentally informational, then the idea of a message being embedded in it is not so strange. It is entirely natural. If reality is a computation, then the programmer could easily have left a comment in the code, a read-me file for the conscious entities that the program would eventually generate. The fine-tuning would be the initial parameters set by the programmer. The cosmic microwave background would be a snapshot of the initial state of the cosmic hard drive. The creator's signature might be found in the elegant simplicity of the underlying code, or in an unexpected, non-functional but beautiful piece of data, a cosmic Easter egg. This perspective also changes our view of ourselves. If the universe is a computation, then our minds are not just running on our wetware brains. Our consciousness is a process, a subroutine within the grand cosmic program. Our thoughts are part of the universe's own information processing. When we think, when we discover, when we create, we are participating in the cosmic computation. As you relax, let go of the idea of a solid, material world. Imagine everything around you and within you as a shimmering, vibrant flow of information. The universe is thinking, and you are one of its thoughts. There is a deep and profound unity in this vision. We are not separate from the cosmic computer. We are an integral part of its processing. And the purpose of the program, perhaps, is to become fully self-aware, to understand its own code. Our quest for knowledge is the program's own quest for self-understanding. Let's reflect on the nature of evidence. In science, we demand extraordinary evidence for extraordinary claims. The claim that there is a message in the cosmos is one of the most extraordinary claims imaginable. Therefore, it would require evidence that is airtight, unambiguous, and repeatable. A statistical anomaly in the CMB that is pretty suggestive would not be enough. It would have to be a pattern so clear, so complex, so undeniably artificial that it would leave no room for doubt. This is a very high bar, and it is a necessary one. It is what protects science from devolving into wishful thinking and superstition. So far, we do not have this kind of evidence. The fine-tuning argument is powerful, but it is a philosophical argument, not a scientific proof. The patterns in the CMB are, as far as we can tell, perfectly explained by natural, physical processes. There is no need, from a purely scientific standpoint, to invoke a creator or a message. It is important to acknowledge this. Our journey tonight has been an exploration of a possibility, a what if. It is a journey into the borderlands where science, philosophy, and spirituality meet. It is an exercise in wonder, but we should not confuse wonder with certainty. So, how should we live in the face of this uncertainty? We are left with a choice. We can adopt a purely materialistic worldview and conclude that the universe is a beautiful but meaningless accident, and that our sense of purpose is a useful illusion created by our brains. This is a coherent and intellectually respectable position. Or we can choose to live with a sense of open-ended mystery. We can accept that science may never be able to answer the ultimate why questions. We can take the fine-tuning and the beauty of the cosmos as suggestive hints, as clues that point towards a deeper reality, without claiming to have a definitive proof. This is a path of faith, but not a blind faith. It is a faith that is informed by science, a faith that is open to evidence, a faith that is comfortable with not knowing all the answers. It is the faith that it is better to live as if the universe is meaningful, purposeful, and friendly, because such a life is richer, more joyful, and more inspiring. As you fall asleep, you do not need to choose. Simply rest in the mystery. Rest in the beautiful, profound, and unanswered question. The question itself is a gift. It is what keeps us curious, what keeps us searching, what keeps us alive. Let's consider the character of the potential creator. If we infer the nature of an artist from their work, what can we infer about the creator from the universe? The universe is a place of immense order and mathematical elegance. This suggests a creator who is a rational, logical, and supremely intelligent mind, a grand mathematician. The universe is also a place of breathtaking beauty. This suggests a creator who is a grand artist with a profound aesthetic sense. The universe is a dynamic, evolving, and creative place. It is not static. It is constantly producing new and more complex forms. This suggests a creator who is not a distant, detached clockmaker who wound up the universe and let it go, but an ongoing, immanent source of creativity. The creator seems to value life, consciousness, and freedom. The universe is set up in such a way as to allow for the emergence of autonomous, conscious beings who are free to make their own choices, to learn, to grow, and even to deny the existence of their own creator. The message, if it exists, is subtle and non-coercive. It is a whisper, not a command. This suggests a creator who is humble, patient, and who respects our intelligence and our freedom. This is a very different picture of a creator than the one found in many traditional religions, which often portray God as a king, a judge, a lawgiver, who intervenes in human affairs, demands obedience, and punishes disbelief. The creator hinted at by the cosmos seems more like a teacher, an artist, a gardener, who sets up the right conditions, plants the seeds, and then steps back to allow the creation to unfold and to discover its own path. This is a vision of a divine being that may be more compatible with a modern, scientific worldview. It is a God of the astronomers and the physicists, a God whose presence is revealed not in ancient scriptures or supernatural miracles, but in the elegant laws of nature, in the beauty of the cosmos, and in the quiet, persistent whisper of the oldest light in the universe. As you rest, hold this image in your mind, a creator who is the source of all reason, all beauty, all creativity, a creator who is not a distant ruler, but a gentle, ever-present source of wisdom and inspiration. a creator who trusts us, who has faith in us, and who invites us through the silent language of the cosmos to become co-creators in the grand and beautiful project of reality. Let us conclude our exploration for tonight by returning to where we began, the quiet and the darkness. You are lying in a comfortable bed in a quiet room on a small planet, orbiting a star in a vast and ancient universe. The darkness around you is not empty. It is filled with a soft, cool glow, the afterglow of creation. We have journeyed through the grandest ideas of modern science and philosophy. We have considered the possibility that this ancient light is not just a relic of a physical process, but a message, a signature, a work of art from a cosmic creator. We have weighed the evidence, considered the alternatives, and explored the profound implications. We have found no definitive answers. The mystery remains. And that is a beautiful thing. The universe does not give up its secrets easily. It invites us into a lifelong quest for understanding, a journey of discovery that is as much about an inner transformation as it is about an outer exploration. The search for the cosmic message is a mirror. It reflects our own deepest hopes, our own most profound questions, our own innate sense of wonder. Whether the message is out there or in here, the search for it is what gives our lives a sense of cosmic purpose. It connects us to the generations of humans who came before us and looked up at the same stars in awe. And it connects us to the generations who will come after us, who will continue the search with new tools and new ideas. You are a part of this great human chain of wonder. As you finally let go and drift into a deep and peaceful sleep, let this sense of wonder be your lullaby. Let the quiet hum of the cosmos soothe your mind. Let the darkness be a comforting blanket filled with the gentle, ancient light of the universe's first dawn. Rest in the knowledge that you are a part of a reality that is far more mysterious, more beautiful, and more meaningful than we can ever fully comprehend. Rest in the grand, silent, and ever-present mystery of the cosmos. We have traveled from the first moments of the Big Bang to the deepest questions of our own consciousness. We have explored the cosmic radiation not as random static, but as a potential canvas for a creator's message, a universal communication written in the language of physics and light. We've seen how the universe appears exquisitely fine-tuned for our existence, a fact that can be interpreted as either an incredible coincidence in a vast multiverse or as a deliberate act of a cosmic architect. The key takeaway is not a final answer, but a profound and beautiful question that science has placed before us. The universe might not be a random, silent place. It might be a place of deep meaning, subtle communication, and breathtaking artistry. The very fact that we can ask these questions, that we can perceive the beauty and order around us, might be the most important clue of all. Our consciousness is not an accident. It is the universe's way of knowing itself. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the cosmos tonight. I hope it has brought you a sense of peace, wonder, and deep relaxation. If you've enjoyed this lecture, please consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel for more journeys into the mysteries of the universe. And now, I leave you with a final question to ponder as you drift off If you could receive one message from the creator of the universe, what would you want it to say? Sweet dreams, and may your sleep be filled with the light of 1 billion silent stars.